Halloween may be a secular affair today, dominated by candy, costumes, and trick or treating, but the holiday is rooted in an annual Celtic pagan festival called Samhain that was then appropriated by the early Catholic Church some 1200 years ago. The ancient Celts were an assortment of tribes and small kingdoms, once scattered across Western and Central Europe with distinctive languages and culture. The meaning is that in the present day, Halloween is a secular festival. Secular festival means what? Secular affair. Secular festival means people from every religion celebrate Halloween. Okay. And dominated by candy. So in Halloween, candies are distributed. People wear funny and scary costumes, and there is trick or treat, something called trick or treat, a part of this festival. But the holiday is rooted in means it belongs to an annual Celtic pagan festival. Pagan means what? Not religious, unreligious. Okay, festival called Samhain that was then appropriated by the early Catholic Church some 1200 years ago. Okay. Now, the ancient Celts were an assortment. Assortment means what? Mixture of tribes and small kingdoms. And these tribes and these small kingdoms were scattered across Western and Central Europe with distinctive languages and cultures. Okay, so each place had its own language and its own culture. Okay, now let's go to the next paragraph. Even after the Romans conquered their realm, Celts continued to survive and thrive in places such as Brittany, Cornwall, Ireland, and Isle of Man, Scotland, and Wales. So, after Romans conquered their place, their kingdom, the Celts continued to exist. Okay, and they grew in places such as Brittany, Cornwall, Ireland, and Isle of Man, Scotland, and Wales. Samhain, the Celtic festival, that is the ancestor of Halloween. So, ancestor of Halloween means what? This festival came at first, and after that this festival came. Okay, so this came at first and then this came. Okay, was related to the Celts. So this festival was related, Samhain was related to the Celts way of looking at the world. Celts way of looking at the world. So just notice the apostrophe is at the end. So this means that this festival was related to how these people, Celts looked at the world. All the Celtic people conceived of a fundamental dichotomy between light and dark, with the former representing positive, lucky, fruitful values, and the latter representing negative, threatening, and destructive values. Okay, so this means that the Celtic conceived means what? They had this idea. Okay, they had this idea. To conceive something means what? To grow something. Okay, to have something. And what idea did they have? They had this idea of division between light and dark. Dichotomy means what? Dichotomy means division, separation, a distinction between light and dark. That light represented positive, lucky, fruitful values, which means good values, and latter, that is the dark, represented negative, threatening, and destructive values. The Celtic year began at sundown at the end of the autumn harvest, continued through the darkness of winter. So when the sundown means what? When the sun set. The Celtic year begins when the sun sets. Okay, and it continues through the darkness of winter and the early spring into the brightness of the summer growing season, and concluded with the harvest. So it began at sundown at the end of autumn harvest, continued through the winter and the early spring into the brightness of the summer, and then it ended with the harvest. Okay, two big holidays divided this year. divided their year. So the Celtic year was divided by two big holidays. The first one, Belton, which took place April 30 to May 1st on our calendar, and Samhain, which occurred from October 31st to November 1st. Samhain was the moment when the spiritual world became visible to humans. So during this moment, during the Samhain moment, the spiritual world was visible to humans. So human beings could see the spiritual world, and gods enjoyed playing tricks on mortals. Mortals means human beings, those who die. Okay, and God played tricks on living things, those who die. It was also a time when the spirits of the dead mingled with the living. So all those who are living, that is human beings, animals, all those who are living, with them the dead, the spirits of the dead, also, that is the ghosts also mingle, they mix up. The Celts believed in gathering all their harvests by Samhain. They believed that before Samhain, all the harvests, all the crops should be gathered, so that it is not damaged by the evil or mischievous spirits who could return on the first evening of the dark half of the year. So they believe that before Samhain all the crops should be gathered, because otherwise these crops could be damaged by the ghosts. Okay, token offerings of the harvested food were offered to the spirits to placate them. So a very little amount of the crops of the harvest was offered to the spirits, to the ghosts. The importance of pre-Christian customs to people's lives apparently wasn't lost upon the early Catholic Church. Pope Gregory I was known as Saint Gregory the Great, who headed the church from AD 590 to 604, advised a missionary going to England that instead of trying to do away with the religious customs of non-Christian people, they simply should convert them to Christian religious purpose. Okay. The importance of Christian customs to people's lives apparently wasn't lost upon the early Catholic Church. So when the early Catholic Church came, the importance of pre-Christian, that is before Christianity, the customs that were followed before Christianity, those customs did not lose their importance. Pope Gregory I, the one who headed the church during this time, AD 590 to 604, he said that instead of doing away with religious customs of non-Christian people, that is, instead of getting rid of the religious customs of non-Christian people, we could actually convert the non-Christian people to Christianity. Okay. For example, the site of a pagan temple, pagan means unreligious temple, could be converted to become a Christian church. So pagan temple can be converted to a Christian church. In that fashion, Samhain, the Celts' dark supernatural festival, eventually was converted and given a Christian context. So now you can see Samhain was what? It was the festival of Celts' dark supernatural festival. Okay, it was a Celts dark supernatural festival, belonged to the Celts. Now this was given a Christian name, and what is the name? The name is of course Halloween. That you can understand now. The ancient Celts believed that all sorts of threatening spirits were out and about on Samhain. Now the ancient Celts believed that during the Samhain period the ghosts used to come out. The early medieval Christian church believed in saints, but the early medieval Christian church, they did not believe in ghosts, but they believed in saints. Okay, the opposite of ghost, saint. Christians who were remarkable for their devout religious beliefs and lives. So who are the saints? Saints are the Christians who are very religious, and who are devoted in their religious beliefs. Okay, so devote means what? Devote means dedicated religious beliefs and lives. But saints also had supernatural side. So saints had some supernatural power as well. Supernatural power means power that is not present in normal human beings, such as their involvement in miraculous occurrences. So they could perform some miraculous activities, magic. So the church mixed the traditions involving Celtic spirits and Catholic saints. So these two were combined. This two was combined. In the 800s, the church designated November 1 as All Saints' Day. Now this day was then observed. November 1 was observed as All Saints' Day. Okay, next paragraph. The old beliefs associated with Samhain never died out entirely. Now, the old beliefs that were associated with Samhain never died out entirely. The powerful symbolism of the traveling dead was too strong and perhaps too basic to the human psyche to be satisfied with the new, more abstract Catholic feast honoring saints. So, the old beliefs that were associated with Samhain never vanished. Okay, the powerful symbolism of traveling dead was too strong and perhaps too basic to the human psyche to be satisfied with the new, more abstract Catholic feast honoring saints. So people did not accept this concept a lot, Catholic feast honoring saints, but people accepted this traveling dead. Okay, instead, the first night of Samhain, October 31st, became All Hallows Day evening. So that's why October 31st became All Hallows Day evening, the night before the saints were venerated. That name eventually morphed into Halloween, and so All Hallows Day eventually changed into Halloween, and it became the time when Christians could turn the supernatural symbolism and rituals of Samhain into spooky fun. Spooky means ghosty fun. Okay, one of the rituals adopted from the Celts was pumpkin carving. So this ritual, pumpkin carving, you must have seen pictures of pumpkins, and in the pumpkins carvings like this, right? You must have seen. So this one was adopted from the Celts. Okay, next. The jack-o'-lantern custom consists of placing fire which imitates the good magic of the sun. So also they placed fire which copies the good magic of the sun inside a Halloween out vegetable. So inside this, a lantern, something like a diya kind of thing, a light is kept. Okay, so now representing the harvest. So this represents the harvest. It was done in hopes that the good magic will help to preserve the harvested food. Now this good magic, this light will help preserve the food through the dark half of the year until the next growing season could replenish the community's food stock. So until the next growing season, this could prevent the preserve the food and also protect the food from the evil spirit. Later in Ireland and Scotland, people developed the custom of using similarly carved vegetables lanterns to scare off the mythical character of Stingy Jack, who wandered the earth because the devil wouldn't let him into hell. So later in Ireland and Scotland also, people started making this carvings, vegetable carvings, and then they started placing lanterns to scare off, that is to get rid of mythical character of Stingy Jack, who after dying, whose spirit could not free itself because the devils did not allow the spirit in hell. Similarly, the practice of trick or treating originates in the Celtic custom of giving token bits of the harvest to spirits wandering outside of house on the evening of Samhain to placid them and prevent them from doing destructive things to the harvest or to homes. So, some food, though a very little amount, was given as a token of the harvest to spirits wandering outside of houses on the evening of Samhain. So on the evening of Samhain, some food was given to the ghosts to placid them and prevent them from doing destructive, so as to calm them, pacify them, and to prevent them from destroying the harvest or the homes. Once Christianity became established in the Celtic regions, young unmarried men would parade around on Halloween, going to houses and calling for gifts to the spirits. So once Christianity became established, so when Christianity was established in the Celtic regions, so remember the Celtic people were pagan, that is is they were not religious, but so once they became Christians, once they accepted Christianity, young unmarried men would parade around. Parade around means what? They would roam around on Halloween, and they would visit houses, and they would ask for gifts. They would demand for gifts to give to the ghosts. This was a time when the hard work of the harvest was done. So this was the time when when all the hard work was done regarding the harvest. So they could indulge in some pranks to let off steam. So the thing is, after doing all the hard work, they could engage themselves in some pranks. In some pranks means what? In some silly jokes and all, and so that they could relax themselves a bit after all the hard work. Okay, fine. Now, in Scotland, the groups of young men were called guisers because they wore disguises, the beginning of the custom of wearing Halloween costume. So what is the meaning of guise? Guise means appearance. Okay. What is the meaning of disguise? When you add dis in front of it, it becomes a false appearance. Okay, a false appearance. So this young men, they appeared to be something else because they wore Halloween costumes, and that's why they were called guisers. Centuries later, Halloween customs were brought to the United States by immigrants from Ireland, Scotland, and other ancient homelands of the Celts. So centuries later, see here, look at this thing. We always thought that Halloween customs belonged to the United States, but it is not that. Halloween customs were brought to the United States by immigrants from Ireland, Scotland, and other ancient homelands of the Celts. Okay, now let's solve questions from this topic. For cracking any bank examination, practice and analysis both are required. And for that, Unacademy has brought Ultimate PYQs test series for bank prelims. In this test series, you will get subject-wise tests on previous year questions of various bank examinations. So all banking aspirants will hugely benefit from this test series. Also, analysis will be done by top educators. The link to the test series is given in the description box down below. Please go to the link and enroll the test series, and remember, the tests are available absolutely for free. You don't need to spend a penny on this, so please grab the opportunity and practice and analyze yourselves. Which of the following is true of Halloween according to the passage? It is originally a Christian custom that has stark parallels with the Celtic Samhain. Originally a Christian custom. It was originally a Christian custom. Now let's see. Let's go to the passage once, okay? Here, look at the first line. Halloween may be a secular affair today, dominated by candy, costumes, and trick-or-treating, but the holiday is rooted in an annual Celtic pagan festival called Samhain that was then appropriated by the early Catholic Church. So this was originally a Celtic festival that was then appropriated by the Catholic Church. Okay, appropriated means what? Appropriated means the Catholic Church called the festival its own. Okay, accepted it or adopted it. So it was originally a festival of the Celtic. So the first point is incorrect here. The first sentence is incorrect. Okay, originally a Celtic festival. Next. Immigrants from the United States later spread it to different parts of the world. Immigrants from the United States later spread it to the different parts of the world is also incorrect. Look at this line. Centuries later, Halloween customs were brought to the United States by immigrants. It was brought to the United States. The United States did not spread it. It was brought to the United States. Okay, so this is also incorrect. It is rooted in the Celtic conception of the fundamental dichotomy between light and the dark. Yes. So let's see. Let's yes, look at this part. All the Celtic people conceived of a fundamental dichotomy between light and dark. So this festival is rooted, Samhain, this festival is rooted to this culture, the dichotomy between light and dark. Okay, so third one is correct. This is correct. So the answer is only 3, option E. Okay. Next question. Which of the following words is opposite in meaning to the word placid? What is the meaning of placid? Placid means to pacify. To pacify, to calm someone down. Okay. Pray. Pray means to offer prayers. This is wrong. Harm, no. So pacify is a positive word. Okay. Harm is a negative word. Anger is a negative word. Wrong. Starve. Starve is what? Starve is also a negative word. Okay. One more thing here. You need to find out the opposite. So obviously the opposite will be a negative word. Okay. Fight. Fine. So placid means what? To pacify or to calm someone down. Harm cannot be the opposite of it. Anger cannot be the opposite of it. Starve means to go hungry. To stay hungry. So this is also not the opposite word. Fight. Fight is just the opposite of pacify. Of placid. Placid means to calm down, to calm someone down, to pacify someone. And fight means to encourage argument. So this should be the opposite word. Okay. Next. Which of the words is the closest in meaning to the word morph? Morph means what? Change. Okay. So exchange, no. Exchange means to give something and to give something for something. Okay. Like if I exchange my pen with your pencil, that is, you have a pencil, you give me your pencil, I'll give you my pen. That is called exchanging. Substitute means what? Substitute means replacement. Replacement. Okay. Then you have blend. Look at this word. Blend means what? To mix up. Okay. Mix up or mix. So this also cannot be your synonym. Right? Okay. Now, then you have distort. Distort means what? Distort means to damage the shape of something. Okay. Damage the shape or change the shape of something. Right? So this also is not your synonym. So the right answer is transform. Transform means to change. Okay. So option D is your answer. Which of the following is true of Pope Gregory I? He believed that instead of doing away with the religious customs of non-Christian peoples, missionaries simply should convert them to a Christian religious purpose. Okay. So here we'd like to mention something, peoples. Regarding this word, peoples. Okay. Now the person is singular. The plural form of person is people. Okay. But when do you use peoples? Peoples is used when you want to mean a particular people belonging to a particular group. Particular group. Now this group can be people belonging to a particular region, people belonging to a particular religion, to a particular caste, people speaking a particular language. Okay. So people belonging to a particular group can be called peoples. Okay. So he believed that instead of just getting rid of the religious customs of non-Christian peoples, missionaries should convert them to a Christian religious group. Now this is correct. Okay. We will see. He headed the church from AD 590 to 604 and was called Saint Gregory VI. He actively worked towards converting the Celtic Samhain into a Catholic holiday. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the part. Yes. Now, this Pope Gregory I, he was called Saint Gregory of the Great, not Saint Gregory VI. Okay, so the second one is incorrect. Fine. Second sentence is incorrect. He said instead of trying to do away with the religious customs of non-Christian people, they should simply convert them to Christian religious purpose. Okay, so from here the first one is correct. Now the third one says that this Pope was actively involved in converting. No, he was not actively involved. He just suggested, he just gave this advice, but he did not get himself actively involved. So the third one is also incorrect. So the right answer is only one. Okay, only one. this and this, these two are incorrect. So only one, option E. Okay, so with this, I'll end the session today. I hope you have enjoyed the session. If you have, then please hit the like button, and also please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So I'll meet you again tomorrow with a new video. Bye.